Hey, it's Todd. I'm here with my fretlight guitar again today. We're going to work on our speed picking, our alternate picking again, in the key of A minor. So I've got my fretlight plugged in, using it as a plug-in in GarageBand. All of the notes have lit up all along the neck. We're going to be down here at the 12th fret. So as you've noticed here, the root notes are lit up, and here is basically the shape we're going to do. It's part of A minor. So down here, this would be the pattern, and it would resolve on the A. That would be basically A minor up here at the 12th fret. Now you'll notice the shape is different than if we would have played it down, say, at the 5th fret. So here it is down at the 5th fret. Now it's the same notes, just the shape is different. All these shapes, all these patterns, like we talked about last time, they all connect. So let's go back up here. Okay, here's the part we're going to work on. We're going to start on the B string, okay? Right here. All right, 13th fret. Going to go down like that. So 13th, 12th, 10th. Then here, 12th, 10th, 9th, then down one string, 12th, 10th, 9th. So that shape, two strings. Then we're going to change up a string, and we're going to change our shape. That way it'll make you practice changing strings, alternate picking, and changing your shape. So we're adding a lot of things in at once. Now let's play it slow to begin with. Remember, you always want to play it slow and work up your speed. So there's a lot of things you can do within this. We're not going to get into that yet, but let's work our speed up. Speed it up a little more. Speed it up a lot once you get used to it. Practice.